National Guard whistleblowers from Washington, D.C. have come out and offered vital information about what happened on January 6. Their revelations might significantly change the course of existing investigations by providing fresh perspectives on former President Donald Trump's activities during the Capitol riot. The story that has been developing about Trump's role in the events of January 6 has taken an unexpected turn as National Guard whistleblowers in Washington, D.C. get ready to testify before Congress. At least 3 officers will testify before a House subcommittee next week, according to a report published by Daily Mail Online on Friday, April 12, 2024. This would provide insight into Trump's alleged intention to utilize them during the Capitol disturbance. These officers claim that because their testimony went against the Democratic-led January 6 committee's predetermined narrative, it was ignored. The purpose of the next hearing is to support the claim that Christopher Miller, the acting defense secretary at the time, did, in fact, give prior approval for the D.C. National Guard to be deployed at Trump's request. Insiders familiar with the investigation by the House Administration Committee's Oversight Subcommittee say that the whistleblowers would testify that Ryan McCarthy, the Army Secretary at the time, misled William Walker, the commander of the D.C. National Guard, about the need to mobilize troops by at least 2 hours. The witnesses see the January 6 panel as exclusively focused on holding Trump accountable for the day's events, rather than investigating the breakdown in communication and improving military readiness for similar occurrences in the future. They will tell stories of being fully equipped for combat and spending hours on buses while they awaited word from the Army. McCarthy's testimony under oath that he authorized the deployment right away conflicts with the experience of Walker's troops, who maintain that they were informed of the mobilization at a news conference, which caused a major delay in the movement of personnel to the Capitol. It's speculated that McCarthy was wary of the optics of appearing to tamper with the certification of the 2020 presidential election results in an attempt to secure a place in President Joe Biden's cabinet. Under the heading 3 years later, D.C. National Guard whistleblowers speak out on January 6 delay. The Wednesday hearing aims to investigate Trump's involvement in the National Guard deployment delay. The whistleblowers also want to reveal the January 6 committee's unwillingness to consider their testimony, which backed up claims made by Trump and his associates that he had given the go-ahead for the National Guard to be sent in advance to deal with any potential violence on January 6, 2021.
Rep. Barry Loudermilk, ERGA,
who chairs the Oversight Subcommittee, is in charge of reviewing the January 6 committee's probe into the Capitol incident. The transcript of an interview with Tony Ornato, who oversaw Trump's security detail on January 6, 2021, was made public by Loudermilk last month. During the panel discussion, Ornato confirmed that Trump had approved the National Guard's activation and deployment to Washington, D.C. on that particular day. The January 6 committee's claim that Trump purposefully delayed National Guard support to worsen disorder at the Capitol is called into question by the release of this interview. Additionally, before his significant trial, former President Donald Trump made a terrifying speech that placed a pall over the country and referred to it as a dark day for our country. The tension around Trump's upcoming legal battle has increased due to his rhetoric, which is filled with accusations of bias and corruption inside the judicial system. His remarks serve as a sobering reminder of the significant differences and uncertainty that the country is currently experiencing, especially in light of the looming threat of his 34 felony count trial. Donald Trump unleashed a barrage of complaints on his Truth Social platform during a turbulent precursor to a rally in Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, raising doubts about the start of his 34-count trial in Manhattan on Monday. On Saturday, April 13, 2024, Raw Story reported that the former president went from simple reflections to a scathing criticism of the legal system he believes to be unjust during his support of Republican candidates. Trump's first tweet, which announced his trip to Philadelphia and his subsequent speech in Allentown, Pennsylvania, was a preamble to his tirade against the legal system. He condemned the prosecution, which included Letitia James and Soros-backed Alvin Bragg, as totally conflicted and corrupt, and blasted Judge Juan Merchan, who was scheduled to oversee his trial. Claiming electoral meddling, Trump denounced the trial as a farce designed to save the face of his political opponent, Joe Biden. In a furious outburst, Trump questioned why people like Mark Pomerantz and Michael Cohen hadn't been prosecuted, suggesting that the legal system is biased and only targets his allies. Furthermore declares, This judge and these thugs prosecute only Trump people. Terrible day for our nation. MAGA 2024 summed up his aggravation and sense of being wronged. Trump continued his tirade, accusing the Manhattan District Attorney's Office of corruption and purposeful delay to affect political outcomes, as he hinted at hidden agendas underlying the trial's scheduling. His query about the case's delayed start 7 years prior was a rhetorical device that hinted at widespread wrongdoing inside the court system. It's important to remember that Trump alluded to Michael Cohen's imprisonment on charges of lying to Congress and campaign financing, subtly raising doubts about the prosecution of people connected to him. Cohen's story of persecution was further fueled by his 13.5 months in prison and subsequent house confinement, which highlighted the legal ramifications for close allies of the former president. Following Trump's fiery remarks, the political scene readied itself for heightened scrutiny and division, with the possibility of his trial hanging over everything. The confluence of legal actions and political theater demonstrated Trump's continued impact long after his administration ended. Deeper cracks in the fabric of American democracy are highlighted by the echoes of Trump's accusations. As the country watches the drama in Manhattan's courtroom play out, the lines between partisanship and justice are blurring with every shot fired on social media and rally stages, leaving the country divided and uneasy following a troubling period in its past. Additionally, former President Donald Trump disclosed that a single social media post by one person has the ability to instantly ruin his political career. That would be none other than Dan Scavino, a long-standing advisor to Trump and a former deputy chief of staff for communications in the White House. At a speech at his Mar-a-Lago property in Palm Beach, Florida, on Friday, April 12th, HuffPost reported that Trump referred to Scavino as the most powerful man in politics. The cause? The former president's social media accounts, including his Truth social platform, are accessible to Scavino, who can post on them on his behalf. Scavino could put a stop to his political career with a letter as simple as, "I don't like you voters. I don't like you at all." According to Trump, "I can't bear you. I'm tired of you." As per the four-time indicted Trump, he would consider Scavino's statement to be the end of my political career. Not content to stop there, Trump conjured up imaginary scenarios in which Scavino posted something horrible or something very sexually oriented that would also mean the end for his political dreams. "Dan's the only one that can do that," Trump highlighted, calling attention to Scavino's distinct standing in the industry. Even if it appears unlikely that Scavino would undermine Trump's social media presence, the former president's open comments highlight how important he views his internet platforms and the potential repercussions of losing control over them. Having started off as Trump's golf caddy as a youngster and worked his way up to become a key member of his political team, Scavino has been a devoted supporter of the president for many years. Scavino even put off plans to launch his own business in order to work for the reality TV star during the 2016 presidential campaign. During that election cycle, Scavino firmly refused to say yes when CNN asked if there was anything Trump could say or do that would cause him to resign. Trump's recognition of Scavino's influence over his political destiny offers a unique window into the dynamics and inner workings of his team. It also draws attention to the important role that social media plays in contemporary political campaigns, as well as the possible drawbacks of relying too much on these channels.